Hi everyone, I'm Sanchit Batra and welcome back to the challenge where I write a poem every week and then record a video about it where I share my in-depth thoughts and analysis of the poem and what I, as the reader, mean in between the lines and also what my thought process was while I was writing the poem. So before I start, I think there are certain things that should be addressed. Number one, which is that this is a weekly challenge. If some of you are confused, it means I will be posting a video every week and not like daily or monthly. I hope that's quite clear now. And the other thing is, you might have noticed there's a change in the backdrop. So basically, what happened was last time I recorded the video in front of a green screen, and I thought it looks weird, right? With a green screen replaced with a white background, and it just doesn't sell. So what I thought, I have got a garden. I should just sit there, candid, no efforts in like setting up the camera very elaborately or anything. I just set up my mobile on the tripod, sat on a chair with my diary with the poem written on it, and except for the poem, I have prepared nothing. Everything is going to be on the spot and candid, and they will be my views of what I think of the poem a whole 1 week after I have written. I think what we should do is first of all we can have a quick reading of the poem, and in the second reading I can go in depth and analyze each and every word. Okay, so here we go. On the backdrop of the clear sky, through the wisps of the clouds furry, go fleeting like time itself, the magnificent birds in a hurry. They rise and dive through the misty air, maintaining a glide so steady, roaming about in perfect circles, for today's game must be ready. But when I move up to behold their stunts and steady flight, they seem to rush until far away, as if terrified by my mere sight. Come back, O bird, for I mean no harm. I merely wish to admire your glide. Trust me, bird, for I mean no harm to your beautiful feathered hide. So yeah, now I'll describe you the basic scene in which this poem was written. Morning, around 7:30 or 8, I went up the roof because let me tell you, whenever you are writing a poem, being close to nature helps a lot. Because when I'm inside the house, I'm seeing walls, I'm seeing all the artificial stuff that man has built. While poetry comes from the heart, and the heart is an organic thing, being close to nature helps you amplify your thoughts and interpret them into poetry, into words that you can write. Right? So here's the thing. I went upstairs, and usually how I write poems is until and unless I am not having a strong feeling, I am not feeling something very intensely, I do not write. But for this challenge, I wanted to improve myself in such a way that I do not only write when the feeling is automatically arising, but rather I can write whenever I want to. I wanted to develop that ability, and that is why I took this challenge. So basically, I went upstairs and I looked around me. I had a walk on the roof, and I checked out if I could find anything that could be a good subject for a poem. And the first thing that I liked was that far away on one of the roofs, on one of the roofs, I'm sorry, was a big flock of birds, and those birds were like in a gathering or something. I don't know. Maybe they were talking in bird language, and I don't speak that. Yeah. So I saw them, and then immediately they all flew, and then they were like scattered in the sky. And what I was surprised by was that after a bird had maintained her flight after flapping her wings quite a lot of times, she could maintain them steadily, and then she was like gliding like a knife cutting through the sky. And I felt that the scene was so beautiful, it deserves a poem to itself. And that is why I wrote it. And then the second thought that came to my mind was that since we are writing about birds, I should also depict the other aspect, which is me, the human, which is how does the bird react to me being in the scene, right? So I thought that as this is the first poem, this should be a short one. I have been using the ABCB rhyme scheme for the last 1 year, so I thought I should continue with that. Maybe I'll change that in the future, but that depends. Also, I thought that I will be writing 4 paragraphs, and before starting, I planned out what I was going to write in each of the paragraphs. So as you might have noticed, the first paragraph is introducing the birds into the scene, which is like it's telling the viewer, see, this poem is about birds. Then the second paragraph is about why I admire them. What can I see in their flight? What are their stunts that actually make me feel about writing them, about writing about them, and also what is it that actually makes the birds a worthy subject for a poem, right? And then moving on to the third paragraph, I describe my entry into the scene, whereas I am coming into sight, the birds can now see me, and then the bird's reaction, which is like going far away and like being afraid of me, that is also portrayed in the third paragraph itself. And in the fourth paragraph, I think it's a very good way to end, in which I am calling the birds back. I am telling them that unlike many of the humans who you have seen, many of the humans who have tried to hurt you, I am not among them. I am one of the other ones. I am just trying to admire your glide. I am just trying to admire your flight, and that is all I want. If anything, please come back, bird. Please do not be afraid of me being present here. Now let's go line by line and have a more deeper analysis. On the backdrop of the clear sky, through the wisps of the clouds furry, go fleeting like time itself, the magnificent birds in a hurry. So like the first thing when I went to the roof was that I saw a clear blue sky. So of course the first line had to be that, on the backdrop of the clear sky, especially in the morning here in Dehradun among the hills, through the wisps of the clouds furry. And then the second thing I saw was there were streaks of clouds, and then there were lumps of clouds, and they were the second thing that caught my attention. Go fleeting like time itself, the magnificent birds in a hurry. So like we are forming an image in the reader's mind that you see there's a sky, there are it is spotted with clouds all over, and there comes a bird going through the sky. And in the second paragraph, they rise and dive through the misty air, maintaining a glide so steady. So as I told you, they were like moving like butter through the sky, moving like a knife cutting through the clouds, and that is what actually captured my interest. Roaming about in perfect circles, for today's game must be ready. Now I saw one of the birds like come directly above me, and then it drew a perfect circle in the sky. I was absolutely amazed. For today's game must be ready. Yeah, I've been reading some Roald Dahl lately, and especially I read the book Danny the Champion of this World just the day before writing this poem, I hope. And that book was especially focused on game. So usually what happens with me when I'm writing poems is, if I have read something recently and there is a word or a topic that I am absolutely not able to forget about it, it tends to be the topic of my poem, or at least it tends to be at least a part of my poem. So when you read Tiny Champion of this World, it's based around animal hunting or poaching, and the game, which is like the animal to be hunted, that was like a very central part of the book. And when writing this poem, it happens to be that word struck in my mind, and I saw that, okay, for today's game must be ready is a perfect way to rhyme with the second line. Right, moving on. But when I move up to behold their stunts and steady flight, they seem to rush until far away, as if terrified by my mere sight. So the reader might or might not notice this, but I as the poet am mainly amazed not by their rising and diving, not by their drawing perfect circles, but by how constant and uniform they can maintain their speed, how steadily they can move through the sky, which I absolutely do not wish to repeat this, but I have to, like a knife cutting through the sky. But when I move up to behold their stunts and steady flight, in which I am telling that I go up, and this is why I go up. I go up to see their stunts and steady flight. They seem to rush until far away, as if terrified by my mere sight. They are running away from me. They are rushing away from me. They do not want to be near me, just because I am a human and they are afraid from me. There goes a bird. I'm sorry, that's not an afraid. As if terrified by my mere sight. They are absolutely afraid that this human is just one of the others and is trying to hurt us. Come back, O bird, for I mean no harm. I merely wish to admire your glide. Trust me, bird, for I mean no harm. to your beautiful feathered hide. And that's where I end the poem. I say, oh bird, come back. I'm trying to talk to the bird, I'm trying to call it back because I absolutely wish to adore its flight through the sky. And with that last paragraph, I end my poem, leaving it as a mystery to the reader what the bird interpreted my message, if it could receive it, of course, was. With that, that was the first poem of the challenge. I am absolutely astonished that I could even get to the first video, considering my inconsistency that I have maintained, which is like quite ironical inconsistency that I have maintained on this channel. But I hope I can get to the end of the year consistently posting a video every week. Also, I have put a hashtag down in the description where you can go and on any of the social media platforms that you like, you can post your own poems. And if I deem any one of them worthy to like come into a video, let me repeat again, it does not necessarily have to be the best one. It just has to have some feature that is noticeable to the eye, and when the reader reads it, it's like, yeah, that's something I like about this poem. So if your poem has any of those features, I'd love to feature them on this in this challenge. And with that, that was our first poem. Thank you for watching the video. Do subscribe and click the bell icon so you know when the next video in this challenge comes out. Thank you.